When a woman truly realizes that she has let a valuable man slip away, it's not just a passing sense of nostalgia, it's a powerful shock. It's an eye-opening moment that makes her see what she once took for granted. All the good qualities you had, the meaningful moments she didn't fully appreciate, now become the very things she deeply regrets losing. But regret isn't the only thing she faces. She also has to confront a painful truth: there are losses that time simply cannot make up for. While this may be a tough lesson for her, it's also an opportunity for you to reflect on your own worth and recognize your true value. Remember, understanding these emotions isn't about staying stuck in the past. It's about moving forward with greater confidence and self-respect. Before we dive deeper, I'd love for us to explore Stoicism, a philosophy that helps us live with more purpose and resilience in this unpredictable world. If you find this content helpful, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you won't miss future videos. If today's topic resonates with you, drop a 1 in the comments. And if you feel there's room for improvement, don't hesitate to comment too, so I can keep refining the content. Thank you so much for being here. Now, let's get started. Part 1. The shock and initial denial. When a woman realizes she has lost a high-value man, the first wave of emotions often hits like an unexpected storm. At first, she may refuse to acknowledge the sense of loss. Her ego steps in, convincing her that it's no big deal, that she's perfectly fine without you. But soon, as your absence begins to creep into her thoughts, everything starts to feel different. She replays scenarios over and over in her mind, desperately trying to make sense of what went wrong. The shock feels like a slap in the face, jolting her awake. Suddenly, it dawns on her that you weren't just a small part of her life. You were something truly valuable, and that realization takes over her thoughts completely. In this phase, surprise and disbelief are inevitable. In her mind, she probably never imagined a scenario where you'd leave, or where all that remained would be memories. She starts retracing everything from old messages and photos to past conversations. She clings to even the smallest details, hoping to find clues about when things started to fall apart. This is the stage of denial where she struggles to hold on and make sense of what happened. Yet, reality keeps pushing through, reminding her that she has lost something irreplaceable. Her pride may continue whispering that she'll be fine, that she deserves someone better, but her heart and mind are in constant turmoil, battling against this wall of denial. With each passing day, memories of you don't fade, they only grow sharper and clearer. The initial shock gradually transforms into a painful wake-up call. It forces her to realize that you weren't just someone she once knew. You were someone with rare qualities that are hard to find in anyone else. This isn't just longing, it's a harsh and painful awareness that she may have let go of one of the best things that ever happened to her. This stage is often heavy, not just because of losing someone, but also because it shatters her self-image. Questions flood her mind. Where did I go wrong? Did I completely misunderstand him? These thoughts stir up a powerful mix of regret and insecurity, leaving her struggling to cope. This is the moment when she must confront her own ego, the ego that once reassured her that she'd be fine, that she didn't need you. But now, that confidence starts to crumble, giving way to an undeniable truth. Losing you was something she never prepared for. She begins to wonder, will she ever find someone like you again? And this doubt deepens the wound. It's not just the pain of losing you, it's also the fear that what's lost may never return. Entering the comparison game, part 2 of the journey. As the initial shock begins to fade, she finds herself trapped in an endless cycle of comparisons. Every man she meets, whether by chance or intention, becomes a mirror, reflecting back to her the image of you. Dates and new encounters are overshadowed by an invisible presence, and that presence is yours. No matter how charming or interesting someone new might be, she can't help but measure them against the memory of you. The qualities you possessed, ones she once took for granted, now serve as the gold standard in her mind. She begins to realize how rare your patience, ambition, and calmness under pressure truly were. When she meets others who lack these traits, it becomes painfully clear just how valuable you were. Each detail, your resilience, your ability to stand firm in your values, and your composed approach to challenges emerges as irreplaceable in her memory. But this comparison game is more than just evaluating others. It's also a journey of self-discovery. She starts to question what really matters to her, the values you brought into her life, redefine her understanding of what a meaningful and fulfilling relationship looks like. Eventually, she comes to a sobering realization: some things, some qualities are priceless. And somehow, she let go of something that can't be replaced. It's not just a heartbreaking realization, but also a humbling reminder of what she lost, something she'll have to grapple with for a long time. In this phase, she's not only comparing new people, but also observing relationships around her, looking for glimpses of what she had with you. She watches how other men behave, noticing their attitudes and principles, and she can't help but draw parallels. Every time they fall short or act differently, it triggers another wave of longing, an increasingly noticeable emptiness that reminds her of what she let slip away. This is the stage of quiet regret. She slowly realizes that not every man is capable of making her feel the way you did. The bond you two shared, though imperfect, was built on qualities she now sees as rare and deeply valuable. With each comparison, she gains a deeper understanding of what sets a high-value man apart. The traits she once overlooked now stand out as clear evidence of why you were so special. It's not just superficial things, it's the core values and principles that shaped your decisions and actions. Over time, she begins to admire the qualities she may not have fully appreciated before: your discipline, your patience with her, and the unwavering dedication you showed. She realizes these qualities didn't come easily. They required effort and self-control, things that most people struggle to maintain. Yet, along with admiration, her regret continues to grow. Every new encounter, every connection that fails to measure up to the standards you set, deepens her sense of loss. She slowly comes to understand that what she lost wasn't just a person, it was the rare and irreplaceable values you represented, values that she may never find again. Part 3. When regret leads to self-reflection. As the reality of loss sinks in, she enters the most intense phase of regret. This is no longer a time for distractions or attempts to fill the void with new relationships. Instead, she must confront herself and face her rawest emotions. Her regret isn't just about losing you, it's also about losing a version of herself that once felt grounded and aligned with the stability and values you represented. This is when she begins to look inward, asking tough questions about her choices, actions, and even the values she once prioritized. In moments of quiet reflection, she starts to grasp the weight of decisions she previously overlooked, the seemingly small arguments, the careless words, or the moments of unappreciation now stand out vividly in her memory. She realizes that these missteps contributed to pushing you away, and now she can't avoid acknowledging her role in it. She begins to ask herself, did I truly value him, or did my ego get in the way? This isn't an easy realization, as it forces her to confront her flaws, insecurities, pride, and behaviors that ultimately led to this outcome. The regret she feels isn't fleeting. It's the kind that lingers, rooted deeply in her thoughts, refusing to fade away. Every memory brings a sharp reminder of what was lost and what she failed to do to keep it. This stage forces her to not only face the loss, but also to face herself, a painful yet unavoidable process, as the truth begins to settle within her. Living with the what-ifs. With each passing day, she finds herself drowning in thoughts of what if? What if she had appreciated you more? What if she had tried harder to understand you? What if she had given the relationship the real chance it deserved? These thoughts are not just painful, they also expose her own shortcomings. She comes to terms with the fact that while you showed up wholeheartedly, offering commitment and effort, she held back. She never fully opened up, never truly let her guard down. This phase of self-reflection forces her to face her insecurities, immaturity, and emotional limitations. It's a harsh but valuable lesson, one she won't easily forget, no matter how much it hurts. It reminds her of the importance of cherishing someone who not only treats her well, but also inspires her growth. Recognizing your value. Gradually, she begins to see the depth of what you brought to her life. You weren't just a partner. You were someone with strong principles, integrity, and values that are rare to find. She realizes you weren't just part of a relationship. You were a role model, someone who encouraged her to be better, and someone who consistently worked toward creating a meaningful bond. This reflection forces her to question her own self-worth. Was she ever truly deserving of someone like you? Could she have done more to match the effort you gave? It's a humbling moment, one where she understands that the loss isn't just about losing a worthy partner, it's also about losing the opportunity to become a better version of herself, a version that had the potential to grow alongside someone as remarkable as you. This isn't just regret, it's a profound realization that she let slip away, not only a relationship, but also a meaningful path that you both were trying to build together. Part 4. Reconnection and the desire to rebuild. As the weight of regret gradually subsides, she begins to feel a powerful urge to reconnect with you. This isn't just a passing desire to talk. It's a deep longing to relive what she once had. She wants to clear up misunderstandings, perhaps apologize for what she once dismissed, and more importantly, find a way to make amends. This desire is no longer driven by pride or ego. Instead, it stems from a genuine need to find peace within herself, to face the reality that letting you go was a monumental mistake. She may even convince herself that if given a second chance, she would do everything differently and better. She now sees you as the one who brought out the best in her, even if she didn't realize it at the time. Reflecting on your actions, your consistency, patience, and sincerity, she comes to understand that it was those very qualities that made her feel safe, valued, and seen for who she truly was. Now, she's ready to do whatever it takes to bring that goodness back into her life. But the harsh reality is that by the time she reaches this point, it may already be too late. You may have moved on, grown, and become stronger without her. This realization only deepens her regret, as she knows, deep down, that trying to reach out now may not lead to the outcome she hopes for. Still, the desire to reconnect lingers. It's no longer just about what could happen, it's about what she wishes could happen, even if it remains nothing more than a distant dream. At this stage, she must confront not only the loss itself, but also the painful truth that lost opportunities don't always come back. And perhaps that's the greatest lesson she will carry with her for the rest of her life. Part 5. When acceptance becomes the foundation for growth. Finally, after all the regret and attempts to reconnect, she enters a stage of acceptance. This isn't a state of perfect peace, but rather a resigned acknowledgement that some things in life cannot be changed or undone. She accepts that you've moved on, and the chance to be with someone like you has slipped away forever. This acceptance forces her to confront herself, let go of old patterns, and take responsibility for her choices. It's a moment when she realizes that growth doesn't just come from learning. It also comes from facing the consequences of one's mistakes. From here, she begins to find valuable lessons to carry into her future relationships. While she may never meet someone quite like you again, this acceptance allows her to appreciate herself in a completely new way. She recognizes the importance of qualities like loyalty, integrity, and humility, traits she once took for granted. At the same time, she acknowledges that losing you also meant losing a version of herself, a version she admired but couldn't sustain. Yet, from the foundation of this acceptance, she can start to rebuild. She approaches future relationships with more maturity, learning to appreciate what she has while she still has it. Even so, a part of her will always remember you, not as a closed chapter, but as a profound lesson. A lesson about valuing rare and irreplaceable qualities in a person. And while the pain of losing you may linger, it becomes an essential piece of her growth, a reminder of what it truly means to cherish someone who mattered. Part 6. Lingering reminders. Even after accepting that you're no longer a part of her life, she still faces countless reminders of what the two of you once shared. These reminders don't just come from old photos, shared memories, or mutual friends. They creep into her everyday moments, appearing unexpectedly in places where she's least prepared. It might be a song playing on the radio, the one you used to sing along to, or a familiar scent that instantly transports her back to a specific memory with you. Even ordinary moments like walking past a coffee shop you both loved, or hearing someone mention a book you once recommended can trigger a wave of intense emotions. These reminders aren't loud or intrusive, but they linger like a quiet presence, constantly echoing the emotional imprint you left on her life. Each time she encounters these fragments of the past, she can't escape the feeling that she lost something profoundly meaningful. They act like mirrors, reflecting not just the memories you shared, but also the growth, comfort, and sense of understanding your relationship once provided. She may try to brush them off as coincidences, but as they occur more frequently, they only deepen her sense of loss. Through these reminders, she realizes that her time with you wasn't just a series of fleeting interactions. It was filled with unique experiences and moments that shaped who she is. Those times made her feel safe, valued, and connected in ways she hadn't fully appreciated until now. Now, these lingering reminders feel like shadows of a past she can't return to, silent yet persistent, always following her. They serve as quiet witnesses, reminding her that what you shared wasn't just a relationship. It was something deeply significant, something she let slip away. Part 7. The growing sense of emptiness. As she comes to terms with the fact that no new experiences can truly replace what you brought into her life, a deep sense of emptiness begins to take hold. This isn't just ordinary loneliness. It's a profound void caused by losing someone who understood her in ways no one else ever could. This emptiness isn't fleeting. It stands as undeniable proof of the value and meaning you once brought to her world. It's not just about missing you as a person. It's about missing the way you made her feel appreciated, heard, and respected. She tries to fill this void by seeking distractions, throwing herself into new hobbies, focusing on work, or even pursuing new relationships. Yet, with each attempt, she realizes that these are only temporary escapes. The emptiness remains, quietly reminding her of the unique connection she once shared with you. Every new person she meets and every new activity she engages in fails to recreate the deep bond and genuine connection that you and she once had. What you shared wasn't superficial. It was rooted in understanding, trust, and emotional depth, qualities she now recognizes as rare and invaluable. This realization often forces her to look inward. She begins to understand that you weren't just someone who passed through her life. You were someone who added depth and meaning to it. Recognizing this only amplifies her regret. She wishes she had valued you more, held on tighter, and appreciated the stability, patience, and dedication you brought to the relationship. But now, all of that exists only as a memory, and the emptiness you left behind serves as a permanent reminder of the impact you had on her life. Part 8. The hidden depth behind every mistake. In the quiet moments of self-reflection, she begins to see, more clearly than ever, the mistakes that led to the end of your relationship. This is no longer just a vague sense of regret, it's a profound awareness of the specific actions and attitudes that slowly eroded the bond you once shared. She starts confronting the habits, insecurities, and false assumptions that created distance between you. She recalls the times she took your kindness and efforts for granted, the moments when pride overshadowed empathy and understanding, the small arguments, careless words, and thoughtless actions which once seemed insignificant now feel monumental. Looking back, she realizes that in those moments she could have been kinder, more supportive, or more patient. Each missed opportunity to show love and appreciation now stands out as a painful reminder of what went wrong. This is when she understands that the loss wasn't caused by one catastrophic event. Instead, it was a series of small cumulative choices over time. Each decision, each interaction chipped away at the foundation of the relationship. Accepting this truth isn't easy. It forces her to take responsibility for her role, something she may have avoided in the past. As she acknowledges her mistakes, she also recognizes the rare qualities you possessed: patience, understanding, and loyalty. She realizes that failing to nurture and appreciate those qualities was one of her biggest regrets. One she now knows she cannot undo. This awareness is both humbling and painful. It compels her to examine not just her relationship with you, but also how she treats the good qualities others bring into her life. Amid this pain, she begins to understand that the loss isn't just a lesson. It's a profound reminder to change how she lives and to cherish what she has before it's gone. It pushes her to grow, to be more present, and to value moments that truly matter. Part 9. When the desire for self-improvement awakens. After a period of deep reflection and accountability, she begins to feel a genuine desire to improve herself. Losing you becomes a powerful catalyst for personal growth, as she now realizes that her unchecked behaviors and insecurities held her back from building a deeper, more meaningful connection. This transformation is far from easy. It forces her to confront parts of herself she once ignored or justified. She may recognize the need to improve her communication skills, learn to trust more, or overcome the tendency to let pride dictate her decisions. Her journey of self-improvement often starts with seeking guidance, reading self-help books, going to therapy, or confiding in trusted friends. The difference now is her motivation. She understands that without change, she risks repeating old mistakes and losing valuable relationships in the future. This drive isn't fueled solely by fear of loss, but also by the realization that she deserves meaningful, healthy connections. However, she knows that achieving this requires inner growth. Issues she once brushed aside are now at the forefront of her focus. Gradually, she begins to change, learning to listen more, practice patience, and respect the values others bring into her life. Every small step along this path helps her evolve into a better version of herself, someone capable of nurturing genuine connections and avoiding past mistakes. The loss becomes a source of inspiration. Your absence does more than push her to confront her flaws. It inspires her to embark on a meaningful journey of self-discovery. Her desire to change isn't just about moving past the pain, but also about reclaiming the ability to form the kind of deep, authentic bond she once had with you. She understands that while she can't rewrite the past, she can shape a better future. Her transformation isn't about turning back time. It's a tribute to what you represented in her life. You've become a reminder that relationships of high value require dedication, integrity, and gratitude qualities she now strives to embody. Now, she sees that if she wants someone of your caliber in her life again, she must also become someone capable of appreciating and sustaining such a connection. This is a shift that comes from within, a commitment to live by the values she once overlooked. A journey of growth and gratitude. This journey isn't just about personal growth. It's also a powerful acknowledgement of the impact you made simply by being yourself. Your values, principles, and the way you treated her left an indelible mark, showing her that genuine relationships don't just happen, they require effort and care from both sides. Through this growth, she not only learns to appreciate you more, but also begins to value herself and what she can bring to a relationship. She no longer sees the loss solely as a source of pain, but as a turning point, a lesson that challenges her to become a better version of herself, ready to build deeper, more meaningful connections in the future. From my personal perspective, loss often serves as one of life's most profound lessons about value and appreciation. When a relationship ends, especially with someone of high value, it forces us to confront ourselves. We must acknowledge our shortcomings and recognize the precious things we once took for granted. However, it's through this very loss that people can find the motivation to change. It pushes us to grow and learn, to truly value what we have. This process, though painful, lays the foundation for a brighter, more meaningful future, a future shaped by deeper connections and greater emotional maturity. Absolutely, losing a high-value man often forces a woman to navigate a complex emotional journey, starting with the initial shock, moving through deep regret, and eventually reaching a stage of honest self-reflection. Your absence isn't just a void in her life. It becomes a powerful reminder of the real value. You brought something she now realizes is irreplaceable. These feelings of regret gradually transform into a driving force for change, not just to move past the pain, but to learn and grow from the invaluable lessons the relationship provided. In many ways, the loss becomes a wake-up call pushing her toward personal growth and a deeper appreciation for meaningful connections. It inspires her to embrace a future where she can nurture relationships with greater care, gratitude, and emotional depth. Thank you for taking the time to follow along. If you found these insights helpful, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the Stoic Station to stay updated on lessons about Stoicism, building meaningful relationships, and cultivating self-discipline. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Leave a comment below and share what resonated with you the most. Your feedback means a lot to us. Wishing you strength and perseverance on your journey of personal growth and self-mastery.